Stays through and he scores! Shooting from outside the box! And what a strike! Middle, still with it, the shot, and it's in!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Old Bay Breakdown. I'm your host, Adam Gotkin, and it is match week. It's finally here. This week we will be playing soccer. The Maryland Bobcats open their season tomorrow on Saturday, March 26th against Chattanooga FC in Chattanooga, Tennessee at Finley Stadium. And this is the place to get ready for that. We'll start things off with an interview from the managing director, CEO of Chattanooga FC, Jeremy Allenbog, and then I'll go into my keys to the match for the Bobcats and just some other thoughts that I have on the game, how I think it'll go. And so make sure to stay tuned for that. But as I said, we'll start things off with an interview from the managing director of Chattanooga FC, Jeremy Allenbog. All right, everybody, we are now joined by Jeremy Allenbog, the managing director of Chattanooga. Thank you so much for joining me today. First of all, there's been some changes inside Chattanooga this offseason, starting off, at the very top of the football side of things with Rod Underwood coming in as the new manager. Tell me about the process to bringing in Coach Underwood and how he's been doing so far in Tennessee.
Yeah, no, I think anytime you have to go through a change in a leadership role, you have to have some processes in place, and you have to have a plan, to go along with those processes. And so we knew the characteristics that we were looking for when it was going to come to the new coach, and certain things that needed to align with the overall club, our vision, our culture. And I think Rod has said it best, not just the first team, but the overall club. I mean, we're unique in the lower league space, lower professional league space, in the sense that we have, a full foundation, a full academy. We've been around since 2009, and a lot of those things, some coaches, to be honest, they're not interested in. They just want to put a team out on Saturday night that's really good and fun to watch, and just kind of live in that world. And they don't necessarily want to be involved in other parts. And we were lucky, Coach Fuller was great involvement with our academy and did a lot of stuff with our player development. And then, Rod very much is going to take things to another level with his involvement. And he was attracted to come to CFC because of everything that we have to offer. So, you have people that you rely on and you talk to. I've known Rod for a little bit, not real in depth in terms of relationship, but he was in the USL when I was over there with Preki for a couple of years. And then we just kind of kept in touch and have had conversations about either players when I was doing a lot of player recruitment for St. Louis FC. So, was able to visit with him and hear what he thinks the game looks like at this level of play and where he's at in his journey. Is he motivated and hungry to keep, chasing this thing and keep really trying to make players better on and off the field. So far, we're off to a good start. Of course, we haven't played a game yet, so it's a results business. But in terms of matching up with our culture here at CFC, we've knocked it out of the park, so to speak, in terms of what he believes in and how he treats players and how he wants players to be involved in the community, and that this is more than just a pro team that plays games on Saturdays. And so we're lucky.
And during this offseason, not just a new coach, but a ton of new players, including some academy signings, a lot of them also coming over with Coach Underwood from Stumptown. Tell me a bit about how you've seen, just kind of you're not a really day-to-day managing the club and coaching like you have in the past and a while ago and early in your career, but from the top almost, how have you seen everyone kind of mesh together just from, that outside standpoint?
Yeah, I think if he didn't bring any players with him from his previous club, that'd be a red flag, right? Because that means either he did a poor job in choosing players in his previous spot, or players didn't want to come and play for him. So he came in with a list of guys that he targeted and really wanted to go and get, because he knew they were going to fit the club and our culture and what we're about. So, and not every player, similar to a coach, is interested in, being involved in the community and doing those extra things that it takes at this level to grow the game and to really keep the club true to its roots. So he had a group of players. He went out and grabbed some of them. And I think it's a good mix, and again, at the lower levels, there's always going to be some roster turnover. It's just the nature of the beast. I think we kept a good core of guys that were able to help the transition and are good players and good fits in the locker room. And then I think we've been able to add to that through some players. Ian Cerro coming in from Chicago. You mentioned a couple of the guys from Stumptown, Colin, KG. So it's a good mix there. And then you throw in some academy guys. We got Gigi from St. Louis coming in, joining our academy. We just signed Hugo last week. Obviously, we signed Damien to a pro contract from the academy level. So it's a good mix, the roster, and I think that's something that coaches value. That it's not, you can't have all 26-year-olds on the team. You can't have all 30-year-olds, and you definitely can't have all 19-year-olds. You have to have a mix, and I think we've got a good mix, and it seems like it's coming together on the field, but just as importantly off the field.
And with that roster buildup, I don't know if this was a question for you guys, but I know on the outside on social media, there was a question of who's going to actually score the goals for this team. The midfield was looking strong. Who's going to be that top forward? Actually, we're recording this Thursday, so yesterday on Wednesday, you guys announced the signing of Marcus Nagelstad. Tell me about how important he is to the club, and bringing him back so late. I don't know if you can tell me this, but is he going to be able to play against the Bobcats on Saturday tomorrow?
Yeah, we hope so. Obviously, this time of year, registration with the federation is always tricky because you've got all kinds of leagues starting up, and some clubs not getting registrations in until the last minute, and so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, he's able to be in the game day roster, but I think goals will come from a variety of players. I think that's one of the things that Rod values is balanced scoring, and his system, style of play, whatever you want to call it, requires a handful of guys to be able to put some goals away. Getting Marcus to come back is great because he is a proven goal scorer. But again, more than that, he's a proven pro. He's been in the States, he's been overseas. He understands the ups and downs of a real pro season. And I think this is the first season for Nisa where it's going to start here in the spring and continue through the fall into the playoffs, more of the North American style, if you will. So I think for clubs and players, it's going to have a different feel. Last year, stop and start with the Legends Cup, spring season, playoffs, independent. It was just, herky jerky, so to speak. And Marcus has been through that. So, so I think that's value. And obviously he does have a knack for putting balls in the back of the net. So excited to have him back. But I think, you look at somebody like Brett Jones, who when he was healthy last year was able to put some balls away. Even Damian Rodriguez at the end of the year was able to get a couple as a young academy kid. So I think it'll be balanced, and I think that's important at this level.
And, the team has had a number of preseason matches, including some against USL championship teams. How have they fared so far? How is the team looking?
Yeah, I think we've done okay. I think, again, Rod is very systematic in terms of processes. So we started off with the UPSL team and we ended with the college team. And in between there, we were fortunate with our location that we were able to play Memphis and Birmingham, and then from the USL Championship, and then Greenville from USL League One. So we got tested and challenged in those games. And, I think the biggest part of preseason is it's not about the results or anything. And we did fine. I think we lost 2-1 to Memphis, Birmingham 2-0, and tied Greenville. So, a mixed bag, which is fine. But it was more of like steady processes of building, especially as you mentioned, so many new guys coming into the roster, new coach, new assistant coach, still had trialists coming in during preseason. So you really want to make sure you're kind of building. And I think the preseason was a good one for us that way. And things are, starting to come together. And, look, Saturday will be interesting for both clubs just because it's the first game and, you don't know what to expect. And I don't think we're going to hit our stride on Saturday. I don't think Maryland will either. I think both clubs will have some bright days in front of them as the season rolls on a little bit. But I think just looking on social media and such, it looks like both clubs have had good, strong, positive preseasons, and that's important at the pro level.
Yeah, and for this match, I saw you guys announced a few days ago that you'll be partnering with a charity, and you're going to be doing that throughout every single home match this season. Tell me a bit about that program.
Yeah, so it's called Cause of the Night, and it's a program that's been around back when we were an amateur club in the MPSL days. And really the focus then was just to highlight a nonprofit or a positive organization in our community and give them an opportunity to promote themselves at halftime, video board, use the video board for a video to just, educate people about what this typical organization does within the Chattanooga community and such. So now we've taken it last year, took it to another level. And Jack Bradshaw, one of our ticket guys, was like, well, what if we give, these groups a ticket code and allow them to promote it, market it, helps us on ticket sales. And, but also we give a kickback. And then we took it to another level. So at the end of the year, for the very last games, we have a cause of night for every match of the year. And then the very last game is our cause of night homecoming match. And all of the cause of the night groups have an opportunity to use their code for that game. And at the end of the year, we give out a donation, not only the kickback, but we also give out a donation to the group that had the highest amount of tickets sold, the group that had the best engagement with our players on social media. So like yesterday, our players went out to the Ronald McDonald House. They did some, pulling of weeds, some yard work, some things around to help out that organization. And so it's at the end of the year, we honor those groups. And then we have a partner that matches our donation back to them. So again, we're a community club. We're owned by the community. We have 3,000 owners around the world. This is very much a Chattanooga feel to our club. And for us to have the opportunity to highlight Ronald McDonald House, SEMPA, just so many different, groups that do so much good in our community. So we, give them some access at halftime to display a video that shows about what they do in the community. They can set up a booth in the concourse. We get them on the broadcast to talk about their organization, and then engagement throughout the week with social media. So it's a really good program, and I'm looking forward to see the steps it takes this year, and then what can we add to it heading into 23.
All right. Well, that was the last thing for me, Jeremy. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you said, Ronald McDonald House Charity is the charity this week for Chattanooga FC. So if you can make it, if you want to make the trip down to Tennessee, as the team is right now on the bus, as this is coming out on Friday, at noon, go do that and support them. Tickets are at ChattanoogaFC.com, right?
Yes, you can go there for all this stuff, and appreciate the opportunity to do this. This is great stuff, and the things like this is what's going to continue to push clubs like Bobcats, clubs like us forward, and keep highlighting all the things that we're doing in our community. It's more than just the soccer or the football. There's other things to it, and things like this giving us a chance to highlight. We really appreciate it, and safe travels to everyone. And we should have a gorgeous day on Sunday. So if your college basketball team got knocked out and your bracket's busted, drive on down and have some fun in the scenic city.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. All right, I hope you all enjoyed the interview with Jeremy Allenbach. I sure did. It was a lot of fun to do. It's time now for my keys to the match for the Bobcats opening league match versus Chattanooga FC. I've got 3 of them, and the first one is finish in front. That is the most important thing. They're going to get those chances. They have got to finish. That's something that they struggled with a lot last year, and it's something that they've struggled with even in the preseason matches. They get those chances, they get those one-on-ones with the keepers, and then right at the goalie, right at the post, you miss high, you miss wide. You can't do that, especially against a team like Chattanooga FC, especially against a coach like Rod Underwood. You have to be solid at finishing, and you have to be more than solid. You have to be really good at it. When you get those chances, you have to score goals. Now, who's that going to be? I don't know, because there are so many guys who could do that. It could be Elijah Amo. He was a great finisher with Louisville in the ACC back when he played in college. A guy that I've mentioned before when I previewed the roster, was drafted in the MLS. He is a really clinical finisher. It could be him. It could be Cisse, who we saw last year. He's a guy who struggled a bit with finishing, but I know that he has what it takes to take it to the next level. Or, Bernardo Mahano. It could be Davey Mason. There's so many guys that it could be. Joseph Boone. It could be a guy that gets a lot of time up front. Who is it going to be? I'm not completely sure, but whoever it is, they have to finish. They have to be clinical at it. Next up, set pieces. The Bobcats really struggled at set pieces, especially when they were the ones taking them last season. They didn't really practice them much. And when you don't practice your set pieces, you just go in saying, all right, we're just going to hit the ball in. We're going to try and go for the goal or hit it towards that group of players. It's not going to end up working. And Coach Sam was a great coach. And the team would not have been where they were without him. They were 3 points away from finishing in 5th in the league. They finished 9th, but they were that close. They were one match away, and with all the injuries, they definitely could have been higher, but their set pieces they weren't there. This season, they have got to be better. There's a number of guys who can really curve it in well. And then also, they'll have some plays out of their set pieces, out of their free kicks after their corners out of their corners, that are not just, all right, let's just boot it in towards the middle, let's just send it in and hope that someone's head can connect or hope that someone's foot can get it into the net, because that's not how you can play when you're here at the professional level. You have to have those plays. That's something that they'll have this year, and I think they'll get those chances for the set pieces. Maybe a bit of sloppy play in the first league match of the year can lead to some fouls in the area or just outside of the box. Give yourself some chances for free kicks and maybe score on one. I know Joseph Boone, really solid free kick taker. He can curve it in, bend it like Beckham. You could say that's what Joseph Boone can do. I know he has on his Instagram, which is linked somewhere on the Bobcats, a highlight of a free kick that he took in the past playing amateur, and just completely, ball went out here and then came all the way around and ended up scoring in the net. So he is a guy to watch out for in free kicks potentially. Brandon Clegg kind of takes that Jake Dengler spot, the big center back, 6'4". He'll be in the mix, try and get his head on the ball. That's definitely a way that you can get some goals, but try and score on those set pieces and then play well defensively against them. I don't think that'll be a problem for them. I think whoever the goalie is, whether it's Felix Anand or Christian Kalker or John Hollinger, one of those three most likely going to start in net. Probably not Hawk, the young gun, but out of those three, I have no idea who's going to start, if I'm going to be honest. I've seen all of them play. I can't pick one better than the other. They're all so good. They're all at that top level. They all could be the three best goalkeepers in the league. Honestly, they all could start on almost any team in the league. So who's going to be the starter out of those? I don't know. Whoever it is, what they have to do is communicate, set up the wall, make sure that they can see and be good with that. I know that Hollinger can do that really well. When Bobcats played 1749 FC in the or FC 1749 in the preseason match, he was playing in goal for the other side, not for the Bobcats, because they didn't have their keeper show up, and he is directing them offensively, directing them defensively, showing them all where to go, especially on those free kicks. He can do that well. So can Christian Kalker, so can Felix Anand. They're both proven veterans, proven professionals. We saw Christian do it last year. Felix has been with the Ghana national team, one of the top national teams in the world, at AFCON competitors the entire time. So he can do that. Kalker can do that. Whoever it is, they're going to have to make sure that they communicate, especially considering the squad is still really coming together. And then staying in the defensive end, not in set pieces, but just in the actual match itself. You cannot allow any early goals. First match of the year, I don't think this will be a problem considering what I've seen from Coach Sylvain Rostello, because he has that shape and they're not going to lose that. Try and keep that throughout the match, but you can't allow any early goals. Allow yourself to settle in and just get into it, because they haven't played at this level yet. They haven't had those preseason matches versus USL Championship side or USL League One side or a NISA side. They've only been playing matches against the amateur teams, and now they have been playing against some of the best amateur teams in the state of Maryland, but still, they're just playing those amateur teams. This is going to be a different level for them if they can settle in and just kind of figure things out and get those nerves out of the way. Then they can start playing their game. I think that's going to be very important to them winning. So those are my three keys to the match: finish in front, set pieces, and do not allow any early goals. Other than that, just some commentary that I have for the match. I am really excited to see it. We might actually be having, this is not confirmed yet, but we might be having a post-match recap here on the Maryland Bobcats YouTube channel. Maybe have an interview with a player after they win or lose or draw, and then I'll give some of my thoughts on that. That's not confirmed yet, but in case we do that, of course, we'll tweet it out. But follow us here on YouTube at Maryland Bobcats FC. Follow us, and you'll get that notification. Turn on those notifications so that you know when any new video comes out. And then also make sure to like and comment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MD Bobcats FC. That's a huge help. And then tickets on sale for the home opener on April 2nd against Flower City Union. That is really, important. Come out, support the team. It's not expensive at all. You can get the supporter section tickets, get on your feet, support the team for only $10. So get those and support the club. Around NISA, there are 3 other matches tomorrow. At 3 p.m., Flower City Union and AC Syracuse Pulse, the two Central New York sides, going to be playing the two expansion teams at 3 p.m. at Flower City Union. So we'll see what those teams are made of. AC Syracuse Pulse just announced on Wednesday, I think, or maybe Tuesday, Peter Fuller officially as their head coach. They're going to be announcing signings pretty much, I think, today when this is being filmed, Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, and then maybe some on Saturday, the day of the match. But who's on their roster, I have no idea. I'm very happy that I'm not calling AC Syracuse Pulse match because I don't know what I would expect. You guys have seen some of my boards in the past if you've been following the team for a while. Arlo White has retweeted them. I don't know how I would make one of those boards if I was doing Syracuse this year or this week, just because I wouldn't know what they look like. They still haven't released their full roster yet. After that, at 10 p.m., we've got two matches. Cal United Strikers will be hosting Valley United FC again at 10 p.m. The new expansion side going to be taking on one of the most consistent teams in the league, Cal United Strikers, who have just signed a 15-year-old. That makes me feel old. I'm 17, so I'm probably making you all feel old by watching this. A 15-year-old signing with Cal United makes me feel old. The next up, the other 10 p.m. match is LA Force versus Bay Cities. So those are the matches other than the Bobcats Chattanooga one. And then, I don't have anything else. So thank you all so much for joining me today. It's match week. We have a match tomorrow. The season is starting. And then that means tomorrow we're a week away from the home opener against Flower City Union. So make sure to come out to that. Buy your tickets now. Buy your season tickets now. And support the club tomorrow. You can watch that match on 11 Sports. Or go to ChattanoogaFC.com and buy your tickets. So thank you all for joining me today. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And hopefully the Bobcats can come out with 3 points. So with that, I'm Adam Gotkin. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Have a great day.